The emergency room was a war zone that night. Monitors screaming like wounded soldiers. Blood trailing across the linoleum as I stitched up a car crash victim whose screams echoed the storm raging outside. My phone vibrated in my pocket. Insistent. Pulling me from the chaos like a ghost from the past. No one calls during graveyard shift unless the world's ending. I slipped into the break room, peeling off gloves sticky with someone else's life, and saw the name on the screen, Emily. My daughter. 12 years old. Tough as nails. But her voice cracked like thunder when I answered. Mom. The key. It won't turn. I'm outside. And it's pouring. And Whiskers is meowing like crazy in his carrier. The words hit me harder than any code blue. I could see it all too clearly, her standing there on our wraparound porch in suburban Chicago. Backpack slung low. Rain turning her school uniform into a second skin. The cat's cries piercing the downpour. Where's Grandma or Aunt Clara? I asked. My nurse's calm cracking at the edges. No one's answering. Lights are on. But nothing. Ice flooded my veins. Stay under the overhang. Sweetie. I'm coming. I burst back into the ER, nearly knocking over Dr. Ramirez. Elena. We need you, stab wound in Bay 2. His words bounced off me. My kids locked out in the storm. I have to go. He stared. The unit already drowning in cases. Can't someone else? There's no one else. The truth of it slammed home. A lifetime of being the fixer. The one who held it all together. Supervisor Hayes at the desk side when I told her. We're down 2 already. Elena. My father's ashes aren't even cold. And now this? She waved me off. And I ran into the rain. Scrubs soaking through before I hit the car. The wipers fought a losing battle against the sheets of water as I sped through the slick streets of Oak Park. My mind racing faster than the engine. 2 years I'd given up everything, my cozy apartment in the Loop. The charge nurse promotion, to move back into that old Victorian house when Dad got the diagnosis. Pancreatic cancer. Stage 4. The kind that eats you from the inside. Dr. Thomas Hale. Respected cardiologist. Pillar of the community. Reduced to a shell while I juggled 14-hour shifts and his care. Mom, Victoria, played the grieving wife at garden club meetings. While Aunt Clara, my half-aunt from Dad's first marriage, dropped in for photo ops. I'd promised Dad I'd keep the family from shattering. But now, this felt like the first crack. I pulled up to the house. Headlights cutting through the gloom. Spotting Emily huddled like a drowned bird. Mom, she threw herself into my arms. Shaking. Whiskers yowling from the carrier. Why won't it work? I tried my key, same thing. The lock unyielding as stone. Through the window. A curtain twitched. Someone was inside. I hammered the door. Victoria. Clara. Open up. The door creaked open. And there stood Mom. Cocktail in hand. Her platinum bob impeccable. Eyes cool as the rain. Behind her, Clara lounged against the banister, nursing a scotch. Well, you made it quick, Victoria drawled, sipping slowly, appraising our soaked forms like we were strays. What's this? I pushed forward, trying to get Emily inside. Our keys don't work. Victoria blocked the way, steady as a guard dog. Because you and Emily don't belong here anymore. The words landed like a gut punch. Nonsensical. Twisting in my brain. This is our home. Clara smirked, jerking her thumb toward the curb. Your junk's out there. What's left after the rain? Anyway, I turned. Horror rising. Seeing boxes crumbling in the downpour, my nursing journals warping. Emily's art projects bleeding ink. Family photos dissolving. Whiskers' cries cut sharper now. A soundtrack to the betrayal. Something in me hardened. a scar tissue forming over the raw wound. I looked at Victoria. The woman who'd birthed me but never quite loved me. The one I'd come home to support when Dad weakened. She'd always resented the bond Dad and I shared, his little healer, he called me. Now, her eyes held only calculation. Clear? Clara asked, expecting tears. But I turned to Emily. Let's grab what we can. We slogged through the mud, salvaging ruins, warped books, smeared certificates, while neighbors peeked from windows, whispering. Victoria watched from the porch. Your father babied you too much. This was always my domain. Emily's hand trembled in mine. Grandpa's journals are still inside. I met Victoria's gaze. This isn't finished. For the first time. I saw a flicker of uncertainty in her eyes. As we drove to the motel, freedom stirred in my chest. Bitter but real. Like the first breath after drowning. The motel room the next morning looked like a flood zone. Boxes forming soggy archipelagos on the carpet. Emily's uniform dripping from the curtain rod. Whiskers cowering under the bed. Fur matted and eyes wary. I spread out the survivors like evidence at a crime scene, my certification papers curling at the edges. Emily's debate trophy tarnished by water. The call to Lawrence Kane, Dad's estate lawyer, came first. Elena Hale speaking. About Dad's will, Victoria's thrown us out. Silence. Then, Elena. That's impossible. Your father deeded the house to you and Emily in trust 8 months back. The room spun. He what? A safeguard. He suspected Victoria might react poorly. There's a letter. I collapsed onto the bed. Emily watching with eyes too wise for her age. An hour later. In Lawrence's oak-paneled office downtown. Papers fanned out like a map to buried treasure, deeds, trusts. All ironclad. Your dad was meticulous, Lawrence said, handing me the envelope. Dad's handwriting. Steady despite the chemo, my Elena. If you're reading this. Victoria's shown her true colors. The house is yours, always was in spirit. She resents what she couldn't have, our bond. You've carried us all, now let the home carry you. Love. Dad. A tear smudged the ink. Grief mixing with rage. Text buzzed in, neighbor Mrs. Klein, they're repainting your room. Clara's van hauling in cribs for her kids. Planned. All of it. They're building a case against you, Lawrence warned. Mental instability. Abandonment. Clara's text that morning, worried about your breakdowns since Dad died. Heat built in my veins. I stared out at the Chicago skyline. ID badge heavy around my neck. I'd saved lives daily, time to save ours. File the injunction, I said. This is justice. Not spite. Decisions came like Tria in a trauma bay, prioritize. Act. I called out sick for 3 days. Turning the motel into a war room. Colleague Dr. Maria Lopez arrived with dry clothes and resolve. You've got this. Emily's teacher. MS. Rivera. Broad assignments and a sworn statement. Emily's excelled despite the chaos. I've noted the family strain. By dusk. The bank confirmed the trust's solidity. Offering a bridge loan. Aunt Beatrice, Victoria's estranged sister, called unexpectedly. She's been scheming since the diagnosis. Bragged about restarting post-dad. I have emails. Midnight saw the emergency filing complete. My savings gutted for fees. But hope flickered like a distant light. Emily stroked whiskers on the bed. I miss Shadow, her other cat. Still trapped. We'll get everything back, I vowed. Her eyes searched mine. Standing up to family hurts most. Words from a novel we'd shared. Heavy with truth. But letting them break you hurts worse. Rain pattered the window. Not destructive now. But renewing. A week later. Victoria's social media post glowed on my screen at 3 a.m. Motel shadows closing in. Pray for us. Elena's grief turned to rebellion. Abandoning the home that raised her. Comments poured in. Sympathy from old friends who'd seen only her facade. Emily showed me a message from a classmate. Your aunt said you're skipping school, 'cause your mom's unstable. The narrative spread like poison, relatives calling with concern, Clara tailing me to the ER lot. Whispering threats. Drop this. Or it gets uglier. Cameras caught it all. Lawrence nodded approval. Evidence. I parked blocks away. Officer waiting discreetly. Knocking on the door felt surreal. Victoria's tears flowed on cue. After all I've done? But I held firm. Phone recording. Hand over Emily's records and Dad's files. Neighbors watched as she complied. Her mask cracking. Affidavits piled up. Doctors on Dad's lucidity. Colleagues on my dedication. Even the chaplain on our bedside vigils. The judge expedited. Lawrence served the eviction notice personally. I watched from afar as Victoria's face drained of color. Clara panicking. That night, documents arrayed like battle plans. Lawrence said, facts over feelings. Emily asked, what if we lose? We won't, Grandpa ensured it. In my hidden folder. Dad's letter to the court, truths about Victoria's neglect. Sealed for this moment. Court day dawned sharp. The federal building looming like judgment. Emily's hand shook in mine as we entered. Victoria and Clara already there. Whispering venom. Judge Evelyn Grant presided. Eyes piercing. Lawrence laid it out timelines. Affidavits. Finances showing my payments while Victoria splurged. Video depositions rolled, Dad's lawyer confirming fears of sabotage. Emily's counselor testified to the trauma, nightmares. Withdrawal. Victoria's side countered with tears and snapshots, curated lies of her care. Elena's dependent. Erratic. Doubt flickered in the judge's gaze until Beatrice testified. I saw the neglect firsthand. Dad's letter sealed it. His words echoing. Victoria's resentment poisoned everything. Emily spoke last. Grandpa promised the house for us. He said Grandma never valued it. Grant ruled, possession to us. Eviction by dusk. Victoria crumpled, outside. Her lawyer begged settlement. No, I said. We're done negotiating. 3 days to final hearing. Victoria called. I'm your mother, forgive for family. Texts flooded, relatives pleading compromise. Then the sabotage, lost court files. Anonymous complaints at work and school. Emily remembered Dad's cloud backups. We rebuilt in hours. Final morning. Deputies arrived. Executing the writ. Victoria protested as they inventoried. Whiskers emerging thin and scared. You'll regret this, she spat. I met her eyes. I already know regret, thanks to you. They left. House keys in my hand. Boundaries redrawn. 6 months on. Rain falls gently as Emily and I rock on the porch. Tea steaming. The garden blooms, her healing plot. Promotion accepted. Therapy journal open. Strength is boundaries. Not burdens. Whiskers purrs fat and content. Shadow romps free. Victoria's letter sits unread. Some wounds close without reopening. Have you ever rebuilt from betrayal's ruins?